somebody is no longer lying to themselves, and I'm getting this could literally be everybody, but this just applies in different ways. Like for you, collective, I'm getting that you're no longer lying to yourself about like you being mediocre or something like that. It mainly has to do with you dropping illusions in regards to your actual worth in some way, and that could apply to a multitude of things, like something more surface level, like your appearance. Especially if you were like, I don't know, I don't really like that term, but like an ugly duckling growing up or something like that, and it's like you whatever, you like glowed up or glue up or whatever, and you never sort of it never like clicked in your mind that you were different, like you sort of always like viewed yourself the same. And you know what I mean, like it's not about being superficial or anything, because it can genuinely be sort of like dangerous in a way if you always see yourself as like lesser than what you actually are and who you actually are, and like people can take advantage of that, and you can like end up in, I don't know, troublesome situations, you know, uh by devaluing yourself, right? So for the collective, it's giving you know, no longer maintaining illusions about you being even average, just for the sake of being, I don't know, because I'm getting that like you are gaining confidence in some way, like genuine confidence rooted in truth, and that could easily be misconstrued as like arrogance and stuff like that. But I'm getting that it's just like you're just allowing yourself to not have such negative self-talk because it's not necessary. Like you're being able to actually admit to yourself, yes, I am good at this thing, yes, I do look good today, or yeah, I am, it's just like you are validating your own like positive like attributes. Okay, now on the other side of that, I'm getting that there are others who are no longer able to maintain lies that they were convincing themselves of in regards to you or about themselves. Okay, it's just a sense that like, you know for people who were always playing the victim unnecessarily, right? Like there's a difference between actually being a victim and like trying to work through things versus somebody who like, the type of person who can be a pathological liar to the point where they even lie to themselves and lie in their own like journals and stuff, and someone who can cheat on somebody, right? And then when the person that they cheated on like moves on, then they can be like, oh, they never loved me and they were using me and stuff like that, right? You know what I mean? Those type of people. But it's getting that those like lies are crumbling even within their own mind, regardless of how they're attempting to maintain them externally, because it's giving, I'm just like getting the sense of like somebody listening to a song, right? And going back on that other example, like say it was somebody who again was like cheating, okay, even micro cheating regularly and actively and stuff like that, um and they listen to music that like after the breakup that's always about like, oh, I'm always the one being used and like no one ever cares about me and stuff like that. And it's like as they are listening to these lyrics or whatever, they don't even like believe them themselves, if that makes sense. And I'm getting that because they can't even believe their own lies anymore, it's like deteriorating their mental health, This is the type of people who were probably, their mask that they maintained, after being, after receiving some sort of like boundary check from the collective or whoever, whatever, um, they resorted to like, oh, I don't even care, I can find better, or like, oh, they're, it's the type of person who will try to bait you into an argument just so that you can say something like cancelable or something like that, so that they can like, you say, oh, I'm like justified in how I treated them because they're actually a terrible person. And like, you know what I mean? Like there's someone who tries to trigger reactive abuse even if they don't know what those terms mean or anything like that, because they want to like justify how they treated you by being like, oh, they're mean, blah blah blah, regardless of how they baited you and stuff like that. But again, it's getting that facade is breaking to where they can't even maintain the mask anymore. And uh it's giving like crying spells. I'm almost getting that like the crying spells could be universal, right? So you collective could have had some really dark moments in the past week or so, like emotional outbursts or breakdowns or just releases, you know, if you want to like reframe it, you needed to release things. And it's giving for a lot of you, you may not even be, you know, there's like, so say if someone did hurt you, you know, and you like separate yourself from that person, right? And this could even apply to like family situations. So it's giving that like instead of grieving the loss of that physical person, you know, it's sort of grieving either the embarrassment that they put you through or like the version of yourself that like genuinely believed in them, or if it was like a parent or something, you're grieving the like lack of, you know, a good mom, like a mom connection or like a father connection, and not necessarily that person themselves, right? um or you could even just be sort of like, I'm also getting, hold on, that some of you could have been triggered recently because you witnessed, even just in public or like, you know, hearing it through the walls or whatever, the mistreatment of somebody in a way that like mirrored the way that you used to be mistreated. So that could be like like hearing parents like mistreat their children, you know, um and like recognizing what that is because it was like in exactly what you went through or something like that. And or you know, like hearing like relationship disputes or something like that, or like seeing them in public and just being able to identify like that as a direct reflection of what you endured and stuff like that. um and I say triggered, like it could have just, I'm not even getting that, I don't know, it sort of like gave you the opportunity to truly grieve those experiences in the way that you needed to. And it could even be, you know, say you lost somebody like physically, they passed away, but you're somebody who has a hard time processing emotion, right? It's like in the wild, maybe say in the wild, but like, you know, you could be just be walking around and see, say for example, somebody having a nice moment or like having like lunch or something with their grandparent, right? um and then seeing that direct reflection of whatever the thing is that you need to process, okay, brought out the emotion so that you can release it properly, okay? Because I'm getting that you need to hold on, it's almost giving the sense of having like a wake or a funeral for the old version of yourself, because a lot of you guys, I'm getting that almost everybody, like you're not the same, like you're just not who you were anymore, down to personality and just like the way that you think. It like it's giving the energy of, if you read, you know, your diary entries or something from even a year ago, it just is like foreign to you, the way that you were thinking about things and just like the way that you felt about certain things and maybe even certain people. It's like you don't recognize that. um but you're shifting away from, like, again, that sense of embarrassment or like, you know, how could I allow myself to be put through that, and like um you know, resting in the empathy empathy for yourself. Hold on. Yeah, so sort of like allowing yourself to sit in that sense of like true empathy for yourself and process those emotions properly so that you can move forward. And it honestly is giving, so because I don't want to dwell on like that karmic shit, honestly. The only thing you really need to know about that is that the people who like were honestly trying to convince themselves that you were this and that, this and that, to like displace the blame from themselves, you know, that's fading away to where they are being overcome. You know, like you may have had a rough week or like a dark couple of days, these people are entering like a dark life, okay, like, you know what I mean. So it's different, right? It's basically like as soon as you kind of, and it's not really about that, but the energy exchange is kind of like maybe people were trying to project a bunch of shame and guilt and like pain onto you that you couldn't shake yourself out of, and I'm getting that you've broken out of it, okay, and then that energy had to go somewhere, and so it got it like it's descending upon the people who, again, were trying to project all of those things onto you. And regardless if they lie to those around them, they cannot lie to themselves anymore, and you're going to see the effects of that. But just know that it's supposed to happen for their own growth or whatever.